every time you go up to a fight, you gotta always worry about what somebody gonna do to you. You know how good you are, but it's still like, what can he bring to the table that night? He might bring something like crazy, or you might be off.
There is a quote that says, "Champions aren't made when the cameras are on. They're made when nobody is watching." Few stories represent that idea better than the life of Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Today, millions of people know him as one of the most explosive punchers in boxing. They see the sold-out arenas, the championship belts, the knockouts, the confidence, the fame. But very few understand where that confidence came from. Because confidence isn't something you wear, it's something you earn. And Gervonta Davis earned his confidence long before the world knew his name, long before television broadcasts, long before championship fights, long before millions of followers. His story began in Baltimore, Maryland, a city known for producing tough people, a place where opportunities weren't always easy to find, where many young people grew up surrounded by crime, poverty, and violence. The environment around you has a strange way of shaping your future. Some people allow it to define them. Others decide to fight against it. Gervonta chose to fight, not because life was easy, because he wanted something different. As a child, boxing wasn't just a sport. It became structure, direction, purpose. He eventually found his way to the Upton Boxing Center, a gym that had already become an important part of the community. To many people, it looked like an ordinary boxing gym. Old equipment, sweaty floors, the constant sound of gloves hitting heavy bags. But inside those walls, lives were changing. Young people weren't only learning how to throw punches, they were learning discipline, responsibility, respect, and patience. That environment would become one of the biggest influences in Gervonta's life. There, he met Calvin Ford, a coach whose own life story carried powerful lessons about redemption and second chances. Ford understood something many coaches never fully understand. Before building a champion, you must build the person. Skills can be taught. Character must be developed. Training wasn't only about becoming faster or stronger or more powerful. It was about becoming more disciplined than the person standing across from you. This is something people outside combat sports rarely appreciate. Every champion trains when nobody is watching. Every champion repeats the same movement thousands of times. The jab, again. The footwork, again. The defense, again. The conditioning, again. Nothing glamorous, nothing exciting, just repetition. Most people become bored by repetition. Champions become great because of it. That is where discipline begins. Not in competition, not under bright lights, but in ordinary days that look exactly like the day before. Imagine being a young teenager, watching your friends spend weekends relaxing, going out, having fun. Meanwhile, you're inside a gym, running drills, working combinations, improving your conditioning, repeating movements until your shoulders burn, doing it again tomorrow, and again next week, and again next month. Most people couldn't do it, not because it's impossible, because it's uncomfortable. Comfort has become one of the biggest addictions of modern life. People want success, as long as success doesn't require sacrifice. They want confidence, without earning it. They want respect, without discipline. But boxing doesn't care what you want. The ring rewards preparation, nothing else. You can't negotiate with it. You can't convince it. You can't fake it. Either you prepared or you didn't. That lesson shaped Gervonta Davis from a very young age. As he continued competing, one thing became obvious. He wasn't simply talented, he was committed. There is a difference. Talent gives you possibilities. Commitment determines what you do with them. History is full of talented athletes who disappeared. Talent alone has never guaranteed greatness. Discipline has always mattered more. Every training session was another investment. Every difficult workout became another brick in the foundation. Brick by brick, day after day, year after year. This is how confidence is really built. People often ask, how do I become more confident? The answer surprises them. Confidence isn't something you think, it's something you collect. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes evidence. Every workout you finish becomes evidence. Every difficult task you complete becomes evidence. Eventually, your mind begins believing what your actions have already proven. This is why prepared people appear calm, not because they're fearless, because preparation leaves little room for doubt. Gervonta's amateur career reflected that preparation. He accumulated an impressive record, winning national tournaments and establishing himself as one of the brightest young prospects in American boxing. Those victories weren't accidents. They were the visible result of invisible work. The audience saw medals. The audience saw trophies. The audience didn't see the thousands of hours behind them. That's the nature of excellence. People celebrate the outcome, rarely the process. Think about your own life. How often do you compare yourself to someone else's success, without considering the years they invested to get there? Social media has made this even worse. People see the highlight, never the hardship, the victory, never the sacrifice, the confidence, never the uncertainty. Every champion has moments where quitting seems easier. The difference is, they continue. One of the greatest lessons boxing teaches is that discipline doesn't remove difficulty, it prepares you for it. There will always be difficult days. Days when you're tired. Days when nothing seems to improve. Days when you question yourself. Those days aren't signs you're failing. They're part of becoming stronger. Because strength isn't developed on easy days. It's developed when everything inside you wants to stop, and you choose to continue. This is where champions separate themselves. Not during victory, during struggle. The world remembers fight night. The fighter remembers training camp. The audience remembers the knockout. The fighter remembers the mornings he could barely move. The cameras capture the celebration. The fighter remembers the sacrifice. That's why discipline is such a powerful force. It allows you to keep moving long after excitement disappears. Motivation is temporary. Discipline survives. As Gervonta grew older, opportunities became bigger. So did expectations. But expectations can become dangerous. Many athletes begin believing the praise. They start thinking they've arrived. They stop learning. They stop improving. The best athletes never allow success to become an excuse for complacency. They remain students. Because the moment you believe you've mastered everything, growth stops. One quality separates elite competitors from everyone else. Humility. Not weakness, humility. The willingness to admit there's always something left to improve. One more skill, one more lesson, one more weakness to eliminate. That mindset creates longevity, because improvement never ends. Every champion eventually learns the same truth. The opponent isn't always standing across the ring. Sometimes, the opponent is comfort. Sometimes it's ego. Sometimes it's distraction. Sometimes it's your own excuses. Those opponents are harder to defeat because they live inside your own mind. And every single day, they ask the same question: do you really want this? For Gervonta Davis, the answer had already been given. Not through words, through action. Every early morning, every difficult workout, every lonely hour inside the gym, every sacrifice, every repetition, every decision to continue when stopping would have been easier. That's how champions are built. Not in one spectacular moment, but through thousands of ordinary moments, repeated with extraordinary discipline. Success changes everything. Not because success changes who you are, because it reveals who you have always been. As Gervonta Davis continued winning, the world finally began paying attention. The gyms that once felt empty became crowded. The local prospect from Baltimore was no longer just another talented young boxer. He was becoming one of the biggest names in the sport. With every victory came new opportunities, new expectations, new pressure. And pressure has a strange effect on people. It either exposes weakness or strengthens character. Many athletes dream about becoming famous. Few truly understand what fame costs. Because success doesn't only bring admiration, it also brings criticism. Every mistake becomes public. Every decision is analyzed. Every performance is compared to the last one. Millions of people suddenly believe they know who you are. This is where many careers begin to fall apart. Not because athletes lose their ability, because they lose themselves. They start fighting expectations instead of opponents. They begin chasing approval instead of excellence. But boxing has a way of exposing the truth. Inside the ropes, none of the opinions matter. Your followers don't throw punches. The headlines don't protect you. Your reputation cannot win a fight. Only preparation can. This is one of boxing's greatest lessons. Reality cannot be manipulated. When the bell rings, only your work remains. As Gervonta continued climbing through the professional ranks, another important chapter of his career began. His association with Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest defensive boxers in history, one of the smartest businessmen the sport has ever seen. For a young fighter, learning around someone with that level of experience offered valuable opportunities. But it also created enormous expectations. People constantly compared him, questioned him, expected perfection. Many athletes break under that kind of pressure because comparison is exhausting. The moment you begin living according to someone else's expectations, you stop building your own identity. Gervonta gradually established something important. He wasn't trying to become another Floyd Mayweather. He was becoming the best version of Gervonta Davis. That lesson applies far beyond sports. Too many people spend their lives trying to become copies of successful entrepreneurs, copies of influencers, copies of celebrities, copies of people they admire. But greatness rarely comes from imitation. It comes from authenticity supported by discipline. You can learn from others, you should, but eventually you must become yourself. The boxing world soon discovered what made Gervonta different: his explosiveness, his timing, his ability to remain patient until the exact moment arrived. Then suddenly, everything changed. One clean shot, one perfect opening, one explosive finish. To many spectators, it looked effortless, but nothing about it was effortless. Timing isn't luck. Timing is preparation. A knockout punch begins long before fight night. It begins during thousands of repetitions, thousands of corrections, thousands of hours refining tiny details. People love dramatic moments. Champions love ordinary preparation, because ordinary preparation creates extraordinary moments. This principle applies everywhere. The successful business isn't built in one day. The strong relationship isn't built in one conversation. The healthy body isn't built in one workout. Everything valuable grows slowly, brick by brick, decision by decision, day after day. The modern world struggles with this idea. Everything today is instant. Instant entertainment, instant communication. There is a difference. Many people quit because results don't appear quickly enough. They forget that progress often happens silently. The roots grow before the tree. The foundation is built before the house. The discipline comes before the success. Life follows the same pattern. What you cannot see today may become your greatest strength tomorrow. Another reality followed Gervonta throughout his career. Life outside the ring was not always simple. Like many elite athletes, he faced personal challenges and legal issues that attracted public attention. Those moments became reminders of something important. Talent does not make someone perfect. Instant gratification. But mastery has never become instant. It still demands patience. Patience is one of the rarest qualities today. Everyone wants results. Few are willing to wait for them. Gervonta's style inside the ring reflected patience. He didn't always rush. He observed, calculated, adapted. And when the opportunity appeared, he committed completely. That is another lesson worth remembering. Patience is not passivity. Patience is preparation. Success does not eliminate mistakes. Fame does not solve personal struggles. This is an important lesson. Too often, people place athletes on impossible pedestals. They expect perfection. But champions remain human. They succeed. They fail. They learn. They grow. What ultimately matters is responsibility, learning from mistakes, continuing to improve, refusing to let failure become identity. Every person watching this video has made mistakes. Every person has regrets. Every person has moments they wish they could change. The question is never whether mistakes happen. The question is, what happens next? Do you stay there, or do you move forward? Champions understand something powerful. Your past explains you. It does not define you. That single idea changes lives. Because once you stop living inside yesterday, you finally begin building tomorrow. This is why discipline matters so much. Discipline creates stability. When emotions become chaotic, discipline keeps you moving. When motivation disappears, discipline keeps you moving. When confidence fades, discipline keeps you moving. When life becomes difficult, discipline keeps you moving. Notice the pattern. Discipline doesn't remove problems. It prevents problems from stopping you. The greatest opponents most people face aren't other people. They're inconsistency, distraction, comfort, excuses. Those opponents appear every single day. And every single day, you either defeat them or surrender to them. Gervonta's journey reminds us that greatness is never one decision. It is thousands of decisions. Choosing the gym instead of the couch. Choosing preparation instead of excuses. Choosing discipline instead of comfort. Choosing long-term growth instead of short-term pleasure. Every one of those choices shapes identity. Eventually, identity shapes destiny. This is why successful people appear different. Not because they possess different dreams, because they possess different habits. Anyone can dream. Very few execute consistently. That consistency is where greatness lives. Imagine if you approached your own life the same way. Not looking for motivation every morning. Not searching for perfect conditions. Simply asking yourself one question. What is the next right action? Then doing it. Again tomorrow. Again next week. Again next month. 1 year later, you wouldn't recognize yourself. Not because life became easier, because you became stronger. That is the hidden power of discipline. It quietly transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. The world eventually sees the results, but only you know the price you paid. Only you remember the mornings nobody witnessed, the sacrifices nobody applauded, the work nobody celebrated. And that's enough. Because true confidence never comes from applause. It comes from evidence. Evidence collected one disciplined day at a time. Gervonta Davis built that evidence. Not overnight, not through talent alone, but through years of commitment to a process most people would have abandoned. That is the real story. Not the knockouts, not the fame, not the championships. The discipline behind them. And perhaps that is the lesson you should carry with you today. Stop chasing shortcuts. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Build your own habits. Protect your focus. Stay patient. Keep showing up. Because one disciplined decision rarely changes your life. But thousands of disciplined decisions always do. One day, people will call it talent. They'll call you lucky. They'll say you were born different. Smile, because you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was discipline. Repeated long enough to become impossible to ignore.